which is NRF2 separating from keep 1. NRF2 going to the nucleus, producing glutathione that can then go and address oxidative stress in the body, is the cascade effect supporting your resilience to stress. So we can apply these keywords to many different pathways. Remember, NRF2 is only one of many important pathways positively affected by redox signaling molecules. Here was the hypothesis of the study. Your body, again, like we said, is making redox signaling molecules every day, but it doesn't make enough. So what happens if we supplement redox signaling molecules? Can you see what's going to happen? More NRF2 goes to the nucleus, meaning more glutathione is produced to help your body respond to that oxidative stress. Here's what I'd like to point out before we go to the results. You see a lot of green and blue overlap here. What does that mean? A lot of NRF2 in the nucleus, right? What does a lot of NRF2 in the nucleus mean? Lots of glutathione, okay? So let's look at the results. It may be difficult to see, but there are some screens on the sides if you want to try and see a little closer. The top is an untreated control. We treated it with saline, the same saline that we use to manufacture our product. We treated those cells. On the bottom are cells treated with the redox gel. There is the green. What is that? NRF2. What is the blue? The nucleus, right? If we want lots of glutathione, what do we want to see? Lots of overlap of green and blue, right? If you compare those two, can you see how the green is concentrated more around the blue than above? The reason this is significant is this is visual evidence of a mechanism of action. Meaning this is visual evidence of redox signaling molecules going to work at the genetic level to help your cells produce glutathione and therefore become more resilient to stress. So when we saw that overlap, that green and blue overlap, we tested glutathione levels. And we saw that the cells were increased in glutathione by 40 to 55%. We did a similar test, but rather than Renew 28, we tested Asea Redox supplement with the University of Western Sydney, and they saw an increase of 60% in NRF2 activation. So let's review NRF2 briefly. NRF2 is widely considered the master switch to help the body combat inflammation and oxidative stress. When NRF2 is signaled and transcribed and expressed, glutathione and other protective proteins are produced. You can think of these like bodyguards for your cells. And in both studies, we saw an increase in activation of NRF2 by redox signaling molecules. These studies are significant because they represent a physical evidence of a mechanism of action on how redox signaling molecules work in one pathway of the body. Now, we do research with universities around the world. This map here is by no means a comprehensive representation of our research efforts. There are many research projects that I cannot currently discuss because they're either under negotiation or are currently ongoing, and by contractual obligation, we cannot discuss them until the study is finished. But this is a good representation of what we are currently doing internationally. Now, let's review the Torrey Lab study before we talk about some improvements, because not only do we perform research at the university level, we do internal research to improve our processes and our products continually. 2017 was a little while ago, right? So there have been some changes in how we manufacture the product since then. There have been some changes to the process. In 2017, we have data showing an increase in transcription, meaning health benefits, using 4 cups per day, 240 milliliters, right? That led to a series of benefits experienced by the participants in the study. These are the claims that we have on the bottle in the United States. Let me answer a question that I get quite often. Why are these not on every bottle around the world? The claims that you can make on a product are almost entirely dependent on how your product is classified and registered in that market. Remember me saying earlier that we are a category creator? We are a new technology. When we register in countries, their regulatory body does not know how to classify us. There are vitamin C supplements, there are protein supplements. What is a redox signaling supplement? That's the question they ask us. What are you? Right? So they try and fit us the best they can, but there is not a redox signaling category, not yet. So the claims that we can make are dependent upon our classification in market. In the United States, we're a health supplement, so we can make these claims. In other markets, we can't. But these are the benefits that we saw from the Torrey lab study. Here was the process in 2017. Now, Asea is committed to continually improving its processes, continually improving the products, both from a purity and from a stability standpoint. The first one I'd like to point to here is the electrolysis process, the reactor that makes the redox signaling molecules. It used to take Asea, in the time of the Torrey lab study, 32 tanks or vessels, reactors, 32 individual reactors, and over 60 hours of reaction time to make one batch of Asea. One batch is about 15,000 bottles. Because of some improvements that have been made from 2017, we can now make that same batch in one tank in less than 16 hours. Much more efficient on a reactor. And a more efficient reactor means a better product, a more powerful, longer lasting product. Here's an image of the manufacturing process in 2017. You can see the 32 tanks there. All of those tanks would make the signaling molecules, and then we'd have to combine them all together to make one big batch of Asea for about 15,000 bottles. Today, we can make that same batch in this one little tank here. The next thing we did was a distillation system. We moved away from distillation to a process called deionization. It's a much more sophisticated form of purification of the water. Here's what our distillation column used to look like. Distillation takes a lot of energy. You have to boil the water, the steam rises, you capture the steam, you condense the steam, and now you have purified water. A lot of energy. How much water do you think we were boiling at any one time? A lot. A lot. For global consumption, it was a lot of water. There's another problem. This system was inconsistent. Sometimes it would work really well, sometimes it didn't work quite as well, and we could see that as a reflection in how long the product lasted. It hurt the shelf life of the product because there were some impurities in the product. We shifted to a process called deionization. This system is capable of purifying total dissolved solids, metals, minerals, organics, down below not part per million, not below part per billion, but below part per trillion levels. Extremely, extremely pure water. In fact, this system is in use by many companies that manufacture microchips. The silicon wafers, the layer deposition, in between the layers they do a rinse. And as you can imagine, microchips are very sensitive to mineral and metal deposition. So that water has to be extremely, extremely pure. We use the same type of system that some of those companies use. In addition to that, we changed our collection system. Remember, it was 32 tanks that would have to be collected to make one batch of Asea. We now do that in just one tank. So now instead of collection, we do what's called dilution. This is what the process looks like today. The redox signaling molecules are made in that small tank in the front. The pH is then balanced, and then the product is transferred to this tank where we dilute to 15,000 liters, 15,000 bottles of product. Now, these improvements in the process led to a better product than the process of 2017. So what that means is the product today is 30% more concentrated in redox signaling molecules than it was during the time of the Torrey Lab study. What does that mean for you, the user, the customer, the associate? It means that you have a better, more effective product today than they did during 2017 during the time of the Torrey Lab. In fact, you can take the same amount of redox signaling molecules that they were taking during the lab study, instead of 4 cups, with 3 cups. We released a bundle recently, the Essentials bundle, and many have asked, why 6 bottles? I don't understand why 6 bottles. 6 bottles gives you 3 cups a day and then a little more, because we overfill each bottle. When you're filling the bottles, there's a little bit of variance in how much how much product goes into the bottle. We overfill the bottle so that even if the variance is a little low, you're still above the 1 liter that we advertise. And so this product now offers the same amount of redox signaling molecules as the Torrey Lab study participants were taking, with 3 cups per day instead of 4. Now let me be clear. This does not mean that Asea is recommending that everybody takes 3 cups per day. If you're taking more than that, and you are happy with your results and the benefits that you are getting, then we're very happy for you. Continue to do that. Do not change. Okay? If you are taking less than 3 cups per day, may I suggest you utilize the bundle? It is the highest value bundle we have ever offered on our core technology in the history of Asea. The important thing is that you take the product consistently and you tailor how much you're taking to fit your lifestyle. We offer a bundle that offers 3 cups per day per month because of the Torrey Lab study and the proven shown benefits that people have when taking that much redox signaling molecules. If you're happy where you are, continue to do that. Okay? May I suggest you use the bundle because that's the best value. And if you have some extra, now you have some to share or you have some for your family. Everybody put 2 bundles on subscription per month. Okay? So again,